KPRL.
Welcome back to Sound Off. My name is Karen Veely. I'm your host on Wednesday and Thursday afternoons. Tomorrow we are going to have Debbie Peterson on the show. She is pushing through a number of measures that are going to be on the ballot this year. One of them in Grover Beach is to elect a clerk recorder. They've agreed to put that one on. The other one they signed up enough voters for. Now the state is trying to fight and the city is trying to fight it going on the ballot.
I'm not sure the state is trying to fight it.
Something came out, a state statement came out, didn't it?
Well, yes, it did. But this is the No Tall Buildings initiative that the people of Grover Beach put on the ballot over the objections of most of the city council that wanted to be able to permit tall buildings right down by the beach when their local coastal plan and all of their other planning had limited the height of buildings there so that the view would be preserved. What the state said is, well, if that happens, then the city of Grover Beach, to meet its allocation for new housing that has been set by SLOCOG, there's regional allocations of housing for every city and every community so that we can have more housing to hopefully lower the cost of housing and get people off the streets. What the state said was the city would have to allow more housing in other parts of Grover Beach. It's not the state saying that the initiative should not pass. It's the state saying that the city council and the city planning department are going to have to increase housing in other parts of Grover Beach, which there's plenty of places to do that.
I was told that something just came down in the last few days from the Housing Authority. Is this what you were aware of?
This is the letter that came from the State Housing Authority. If some of the opponents and the developers who want to build the tall buildings right down by the beach, because that's where they can make real big money, they're saying that the state said that somehow the city's going to violate the law if they're not allowed to build down there. The state didn't say that. The state did say if this passes, it's going to require that other development be allowed in other parts of the city in order to increase the housing up to the limits that have been set by SLOCOG. We have all seen politicians spin one little fact into a whole lot more, and that's what's going on there.
And you saw this in Paso Robles. When you had a group of people that wanted to stop the paid parking in the downtown area, then the city tried to say, oh, your initiative is bad. You made this mistake and that mistake. First of all, the initiative goes to the city clerk, who approves it to go get the signatures. You get the signatures and you bring it back, and then they go, wait a minute, we think this part doesn't work, when you're trying to get it on the ballot. And the city can always come out and say, we're going to agree to what you want, and you don't have to put it on the ballot.
Yes, but then if the city changes its mind later and wants to adopt something that the initiative forbid, they have to put it back on the ballot for people to approve. That's why cities are so anxious to keep, even if they effectively repeal what they've done without adopting the exact language of the initiative, then they can come back and try it again. Those are the kinds of resistances. You know, you talked about how manipulative people are in family law. When I sued the city of San Luis Obispo because of their mistreatment of the homeless in violation of the state constitution, the federal constitution, and the vehicle code, I realized litigants in city government were way more, if you were suing the city or the county, those people were way more manipulative than family law litigants.
But I have noticed you and Sorrow together did multiple suits against the city of San Luis Obispo, and I think you won every one of them. You've had a very good track record.